Okay guys, welcome back to Sanity Maintenance. Today we're going to be discussing gas clamps for your fuel lines and stuff like that, and also primer bulbs. We're basically going to cover what actually works best, and I'll show you a few ways on how to actually test some of this stuff, and so you can actually know what's going on with the system. If you have an air leak in the system, most of the time you won't know it due to the reason that your gas is being pulled from the tank to the outboard. The outboard has the fuel pump. If the fuel pump was inside of the gas tank, you would visually see gas all the time where you had a leak at. So it'd be easy to find. This way is a little harder because the fuel pump's located on the outboard and we're having to pull. For every connection that you have that is bad and you have an air leak there, it causes a drop in for your siphon. So it breaks siphon, loses it, has to start back over. Same with your primer bulbs too. So we'll kind of go over that and get right into it. Okay, getting into fuel line connectors, where you clamp your fuel line clamps. These are generally going to be your better to go to here clamps. These are ear clamps. I like these a lot. You have so many of these going throughout your boat, and clamping gas line here, clamping gas line there. There's so many of them there. There's so many ways to get so many leaks there on top of it. It's pretty hard to stop. If you're using clamps like these here, it can turn into a nightmare because this other side here, this area here, doesn't seal very well. And on top of that, once you take them, pull them apart, bend them around a little bit and stick them back on, you have one area there that just does not want to clamp and seal that line around the fitting like it should, and it becomes a problem. These I do not like using. I've used these a lot. I've tested using these a lot. You're either going to get away with it or you're not, and 90% of the time you're not. You might think it's fine, you think it's good, but trust me. The ear clamps are by far the best. I make two different types of ear clamps. This one has a solid ear on the inside of it there. You see here? That's a full there. However, you will need a tool to install these, is the downfall to it. But these, excuse me, these actually do seal all the way around. Sorry, I just got done with dinner a few minutes ago. But you have to buy a tool for these, which is these little guys here. You can pick them up, and you can also pick it up as a full set. Most of the time where you have multiple different sizes, and you'll need to know your sizes, whatever they are that you're using for your line, to cover that. This is another type that I do like. You'll see these very commonly. Just a little black piece of thing here. You can undo it there and pop it out, and then you can press it together, push it back, and it seals very good. The downfall to these is the sun really beats these guys to death. They get brittle, or sometimes they get a little loose and you have to go back and retighten them, or the line will get a little old or whatever sitting in the sun and you have to go back and retighten them. These you don't have too much issues with. The simple fact that you have the tool and it presses down on it so hard, once you crimp it on there really well, it doesn't give you that many problems, later on in life. There's nothing like being in 5 to 8 foot seas and going to your primer bulb and trying to pump it up just to get the engine started so you turn around and head home. It's not a good feeling. It doesn't work very well. Alright, getting into your primer bulbs. There's a lot of different types out there on the market. By the way, this video I did have out before and accidentally deleted it. I really didn't mean to delete it, so I'll go back and start again. There's many different times. You got Atwood, you got Sierra, a lot of your Walmart bulbs and things like that. Be careful what you buy, people. First off, your bulb should be horsepower rated for what engine it's going on. That's the number one thing. Number two, when you start getting different size bulbs and cheaper bulbs, they may work a week or two for you to get you by, or whatever, if it's just an emergency or whatever. But most of the time they turn into being crap. You need good quality bulb on your outboard unit there, so it'll hold the gas up like it should be. And if you have a good quality bulb there and it's not holding the siphon like it should be, then you start checking your lines all the way back down to your tank, and that includes your pickup tube as well, because they do get loose. Pickup tubes are really bad about getting loose, especially if you're in a lot of swells, wakes, and things like that. Keep in mind, most gas tanks do not have a ballast in them for keeping the gas from sloshing around. So while that gas moves from front to back, side to side, so is the pickup tube. It just literally gets swung around like that, and at the elbow of it where it hooks, it will start to get brittle and then sometimes fall off and sometimes just stay loose, and it picks up air right in that connection there. But getting into your primer bulbs, I don't care for the cheap ones very much. They cause me too many issues there with them. If you want a good quality bulb, highly recommend using the Yamaha bulb. My brother turned his on to me. This is for a smaller boat. I haven't installed it yet. The other one's still good. It's been on there since 07. You know what year it is now? It's like 2021. So I can give you an idea how long they actually last. It's a good bulb too, good quality bulb. But I don't have any issues with these. They're very well made. You don't have the leak problems around the fittings where they're losing, pressure and stuff like that. But as you see, they're just a really good bulb, well made. And these, like I said, these are horsepower rated. This one was rated up, I think, are 80 or 90 horsepower, I think. And it has the plastic connectors on them here, where the one that's on our Johnson, which we have a Yamaha bulb on our Johnson outboard, works. It has the aluminum ends on it as well. And the inside of it for the valve here that holds the fuel is different as well too. A little heavier made, where this one is not. Okay, getting into your primer bulbs. If I have one I'm thinking that may be leaking and I'm not really sure if it's leaking or not, I generally just use a vacuum tester on it. That's the easiest way to do it. I'll take and find me a vacuum. We put on a vacuum tube, stick it on there. I find one's about the right size. Take and clamp it on to the end of it here. Make sure it's good to go. Nice and sealed off. I'll take the other end and use my little mighty back here. Taking a little pressure on it. Well, that's the wrong way. Go the other way. Here we go. And basically sit here and see how long it takes for that needle to fall. If it falls drastically quickly, then you need to replace it. This one here I've resealed, and I've also resealed the other one I got there too, trying to make them work. Just kind of give you an idea of some of the things you use here. This pressure. So this one here is pretty good to go, although it is actually not very good to go because the inside of the ball or the spring there that holds this is actually very weak, which is not a good thing. Be on this side here, on the pickup side, the arrow being pointed up, this part here should be very hard to pick up. This was actually pulled off of a 250 horsepower outboard motor. It was giving him a low fuel alarm at the time at high speed, and this was what was causing it. This is the ball and the spring. The ball was fine, but the spring had gotten weak. So it's basically taking a basketball and bouncing it on the ground. What starts happening is it starts doing the bouncing effect on the inside of here. This is normally shouldn't be easy to pick up, as far as, it should be able to take a lot of pressure to push down on this because of the outboard it was on. So I'll take and show you that. Arrow pointed up, seal it off. Vacuum is on. I've already got vacuum already. That's not good. It's too easy, way too easy for it to take and do what it's doing, seal it off. It should be taking forever or not be able to pick it up at all. Versus being a new one here. This one has a brand new spring in it. We'll put it on here. This is only for rated up to 80 or 90, something like that. So we'll try that. See, it's absolutely not wanting to pick that up at all because the spring is good on it. Get the idea? I use this for a lot of different things, and a lot of my stuff is not always accurate what I do, but this is what I do and how I do it. But these bulbs here, I don't really care for them too much because there's just always so many issues or problems you'll have with them, and there's always something that's going to go wrong. Okay, hopefully some of this information was helpful to whoever may need it or whatever, or give them at least the direction to look anyways. Tracking a air leak down can be pretty hard, especially if you don't know where to look. lots of different methods of doing it. This is just my way of doing it, you know. So if I get a boat in and it's pretty bad shape and it's 20 years old or 15 years old, the easiest thing to do is just start the pickup tube, work your way all the way back to the damn outboard, just be done with it. The gas line really isn't that expensive. Like I said, it depends on where you can go, what you can get. We don't all have a dealership nearby. I think there's 3 here near us. You also got Walmart, got 6 here, so not everybody has that. Plenty of parts stores, but you always don't have access to that area when you're doing it. It's simply like our smaller boat. I did not have access to a dealership because it was on a Sunday when I decided to fix the line on it. So I went to an auto parts store and bought gas line for a car and put them on there. It works for the moment. At least now anyways. Probably break down tomorrow, but it is what it is. But don't ever frown on anybody for running the wrong things on their boat. If it works and they're happy with it, and that's all it should be. A lot of us wasn't born with a silver spoon in our mouth, so we do what we got to do. And if the video was helpful, hey, give it a thumbs up. Have yourself a good night, okay? Not too bad of a camera. So it does at night while I'm on the video.